can feel the tension here at the Broadway Bowl in Littleton, Colorado. Total prize money is $40,000 here. It's one game for $6,000. Good close-up of Dave Soutar.
There's the value of that tight line and that great speed. That ball just held the pocket all the way and what we call stayed right there.
And this is George McDonald, 35 years old, from Denver, Colorado. This is his first tournament. His 67 average was .205. He has yet to win on the PBA Tour.
That's a pretty good first shot, but waiting in the wings like that is not the easiest thing in the world, and we'd like to point out that first shot, you want to be a little cautious. When you're over-anxious, you have a tendency to pull.
Well, we've seen that happen before with Sam Baca on his first ball. San Jose.
The problem here is in covering that 2-4-5. He got far enough to the left and did not chop it.
George McDonald's highest finish in 1967 was here in Denver when he finished 5th. He has 7 children, 3 boys and 4 girls, aging 6 to 18. And we asked George McDonald if he has any problems on his release.
I found that I have one bad habit of throwing my left hip out of line as I come through the ball. And I try to maintain a more erect position at the foul line with that hip underneath me instead of throwing out to the left.
The crowd, of course, commenting there about the good break that he got. The oohs and ahs pretty well told the story. I think he made an excellent shot as he talked about the hip under him, especially after his first shot. He didn't get the good lift. That time with the hip under him, he got too much.
So Dave Soutar leads George McDonald in the yellow shirt by 1 pin here. Second frame coming up for Sutar.
There's a good shot of Dave Soutar as he positions himself at address. He's very deliberate.
And he's off for the 2-bagger. Dave this year finished 10th in Phoenix and 7th at San Jose for $2,500 so far. Last year he won $22,000 on the tour. Won the Fort Worth Open in '67, so has 2 other wins to his credit. The national champion in 1961. Leads by 11.
But that time we talked about the speed. Now he had the same speed, but he was a little bit more to the right of his target. Perhaps in rushing the line, his swing didn't come into the same leverage position. So the ball hit very light, and with that much speed, it couldn't go through and get the 5.
What are his chances here?
Well, I don't lay any odds on these splits, but it's not an easy one. By moving to the left, he's going to try and just barely touch the right of the 5. And he did it!
Beautiful shot by Dave Soutar.
Well, now his chances are good on that one, Bud.
And Dave remains 9 ahead, shaking his head there. Very happy with that spare. George McDonald now. You must be happy with that one.
He's very happy, Bud, as he is adjusting himself. Now, he did practice on these lanes, certainly, and bowled on them all week, but it's been about 3 games ago, and the games that they bowled in their warm-up since he's been back here.
There's his wife, Bernice. And Billy Allen is grinning just to the right.
Maybe he has that good luck charm in his pocket. When you pull 2 in a row and you get 2 strikes in a row, you got a good luck charm somewhere. There we talk about Dave Soutar. You see how deliberate he is in holding that ball to his right.
What knocked off the 7 there, Billy? Something
That was
against line.
the 2, but with the good speed that he is using, we talk about sometimes the solid 10. With that speed, it'll go up and over. The same on the 7. The 2 can go up and over.
A very close match here, just about a pin difference.
But we just talked about it, and there it happened. You could see the 6 go well over the top of the 10. Very tough break.
Very tight match here. Dave rolled a perfect game, as we mentioned here in this tournament. Rolled 288 last week in San Jose.
There you see from left to right. He stuck a little bit and pulled, but he had a good enough angle that the ball stayed and caught a little bit of the 10.
And this match stays very tight. It's the Denver Open live and in color. The gentleman you're looking at right now is George McDonald, who's coming up in the 5th frame. He leads Dave Soutar by 1 pin. And if George wins, he'll win $6,000 in the Denver Open Championship. George left the 10.
Almost another Brooklyn strike. Bud, you said we had no left-handers here today. He's been over in the left-hander's pocket 3 times in a row. One more, and I'm going to accuse him of aiming over there.
Maybe he's listening to you on that spot bowling.
That's probably more times in succession. That's 4 shots in a row that he's missed the pocket, the 1-3 pocket. And that's probably the first time all week he's thrown that many balls in succession out of the 1-3 pocket.
And as you can see, it is even as we go into the 5th. The bowling up to this game has been fantastic. The average this afternoon on both these lanes by all the bowlers has been 241.
Right, and a note of consolation maybe to Jimmy Certain. He shot 746 and is now in the stands. If he gets loose now after those good breaks, it's going to be Katie bar the door. Dave Soutar can't let that happen.
And it's still even. Dave Soutar.
Good mixing ball off the wall. I had breakfast with Dave today, Bud. He told me his wife Betty is home in Detroit watching the show and naturally pulling for him. Baby needs shoes.
Well, the winner picks up $6,000 here. The loser picks up $3,000. That'll buy a heap of shoes. And it's still even here in the 7th. Good close-up of the grip taken by Dave Soutar. Look how deliberate he is. He liked that one.
But he positions the ball to his right side. As he puts it into his push-away, it is then in position to drop straight beside his body.
George needs a strike here. 7th frame. How about it?
Well, that's a tough break for him, Bud. He's been high and breaking those splits up. If he could only use that method of making the 7-10 now, he could stay in the match. But that, unfortunately, is not ABC sanctioned that we showed you earlier. I'm sure he's going to go for one, hope that he can bounce it out.
That puts Dave Soutar in a more commanding position now. Leading by 22 over George McDonald here. Just can't seem to find the right line.
Well, let me say something in George's behalf, Bud. He is a very slow-speed player. In a short match, it's very difficult to get your speed adjusted. Now, being a slow-speed player, his ball is hooking a little too much on him, and I'm surprised he hasn't moved to the left. But in his behalf. He has played this angle all week, and he just can't get his feet adjusted for the angle that's worked best for him all week.
And Dave Soutar now going into the ninth. Rather, the eighth for Dave Soutar, leads by 22.
Good reach. Powerful ball, Bud.
He really extended himself on that one.
Yes, he did. He knows now he's increasing his lead by 10 with every strike. No,
And he leads by 32 now. Sutar in the ninth. Winner, $6,000. The loser, $3,000.
But if he marks out, he closes out George McDonald. But more impressively, if he strikes on this ball, he can open in the 10th and still win.
Willie? Ooh, that puts a little different complexion on everything now, doesn't it?
It really does, Bud. In his effort to get the strike, he increased his speed a little bit, and the ball deflected, as we call it, at the pocket. There you see the 8-10. That is a little closer, but like the 7-10, they're straight across. He's going to throw good speed, it looks like, at the 8, and hope he can bounce it out.
Nope. So that puts a little different complexion on this, as I just mentioned. Really tightens things up. George McDonald in the ninth. Sutar leading by 18. There's the footwork of McDonald. There's a perfect ball.
But in that time, George did move to his left, quite a bit to his left, to delay the ball biting the lane too soon, and it carried him right into the 1-3 pocket. Now as he prepares to shoot the 10th frame, Bud, the situation is this. If he makes 3 strikes, he can shoot 216 and would force Dave Soutar to double.
Coming back here, he trailed by, what, 32?
Right, he now trails by 8. That strike sets him up now for this shot. If he strikes on this shot, he would actually take the lead.
Coming right down to the wire here. The Denver Open, live and in color on the PBA Tour.
He's got good momentum going now, but he went a little wider with that arc, but again, you know, he was in the nose earlier. He didn't want to go high. He wanted to be in the pocket, and he was, but he didn't get that good, powerful finish. Our best possible score now for George McDonald is 205. He converts it, 205. Forces Dave Soutar to mark. Dave needs a mark of some kind.
Just looking at Rudy Proctor, who will be presenting the award here, having the sportsman and industrialist around the Denver area. Here's Dave Soutar.
Well, Bud, with that strike, he puts himself in a lock-up position. We can't really say he's the winner yet because he needs to stay behind the foul line with one of these next 2 shots. Right now, to score this for you, he has 194 and 10 for the strike. That's 204. Oh, now that's 214. Now he can throw this one in the gutter, foul, do whatever he'd like.
So there's our winner, Dave Soutar, winner of $6,000. That's his 4th win on the PBA circuit. And he finishes 224. Dave Soutar, the winner of the PBA Open. George McDonald finished with 205.